What is up, IDP Army? It's your man Jordan Rays at 50 Shades of Drunk. If you are on Twitter, this is the IDP Army channel. We are going to be talking about Week 8 IDP rankings today, among some other things. If you're watching on YouTube, you noticed I'm a little decked out today. We got some business to take care of, IDP Army. We got some big things popping off. So stick around. It's going to be a good show. As always, we got a shout out to our Patreons. If you are not a member of the Patreon, if you're not a member of our YouTube channel memberships, do that. We would appreciate that. Y'all are the reason that we are still here, kicking it 4 years in, keeping the lights on and growing and improving, and that's what a couple of things I want to talk to y'all about today before we get to the rankings. So if you're just watching on YouTube and you just want to skip this, and you want to be crazy like that, go for it. Make sure you give us a like and a thumbs up first, though. But IDP Army, especially the podcast listeners, we got some good things coming for y'all, okay? We are about to, the podcast is growing and evolving as far as shows. We have the IDP Army, we have Offensive Points. Those are our two backbone shows. We also have Dynasty Tailgate on there. We also have, at certain points, we had the Underdogs on there as well. And we have been thinking about what are we going to do, because we're getting more and more plays on the Dynasty Tailgate show lately, and we want to give that its own platform to really sort of shine, because that's going to be covering a lot of, younger Dynasty players. NFL draft season's coming up as well. We have a second podcast feed, and, I was looking at some of the numbers. Our total downloads just this season on podcast alone is over like 45,000. And sometimes when we post pods on top of each other, people are missing stuff, and we don't want that. We don't want good content to go missed or lost in the shuffle. So we are going to be opening up that second podcast feed soon. Look for the link in the description or just around for that if you follow us on socials. We'll throw that out there. That's where the Dynasty Tailgate's going to be. That's where we're going to put the Underdogs, which is going to have NBA sports betting content. It's going to have golf content as well. It's going to be focused a lot on underdog best ball content. We do a ton of best ball content already. That show is something I put together last year, had kind of put it on a pause, kind of working on how we were going to brand it going forward. We want to cover all forms of best ball. So look for that to be dropping its first episode sometime in the next couple of days as well. And again, this is only possible because of the Patreons, people putting, their hard-earned money, their likes, their attention into us. It's helping us grow. It's helping us scale up. It's helping us bring people on. We're also going to be adding Iggy IDP. He's going to be helping with us. He does a lot of sports betting as well. He's super well versed in like the kind of psychology of sports betting, for people that are well versed in it, to intermediates to even beginners. He's very much about that barrier of entry. He said it's kind of fascinating to me. He said, I was talking to him recently, and he said that how much sports betting content just assumes that the consumer understands a lot of the jargon and a lot of the words. He's like, and that can be big for people to get past. And he's like, that's something where, I feel like it can get lost. And I was like, well, that's something we can focus on. We can help bring people into that. I was like, if that's the kind of content that you think would be helpful and valuable as somebody who sports bets and who is passionate about it, let's do that. So we have some really good content ideas coming there. So if you're a podcast listener, we thank you. If you're a YouTube watcher, we thank you too. Like I said, it takes all of us, IDP Army. It really is about us, not just me, or any one of us. I do appreciate the guys and everyone who supports us. Also, speaking of the guys, all right, Mace Riney finished week 7 in the Fantasy Pros rankings competition. Numero uno, big number 1 in IDP. So give Mace a round of applause wherever you're at. Give him the golf clap, if you will. Send him some love on Twitter. We love having Mace around. He's been awesome. He's been putting up some really good notes on the site, idparmory.com. He puts up his observations, his notes, and his rankings are free. You can put that in all caps if it makes you feel better. They're free on our website. And he was number 1 last week. Now I will, now the pressure's on me. Okay, now I gotta finish number 1 before the season's over, or I don't know. What are we gonna do about that? So, but we are happy for Mace. Give him his flowers. He did an awesome job. He's been awesome for us. We appreciate him. So, let me see if there's anything else need to talk about with the Army before we get things rolling. I think that's it for right now. I will say just keep an eye out on the dynasty rankings in the index. That stuff's going to be it's getting updated regularly, but it's going to start being more noticeable as far as the layout and the dashboards and all that for everybody that's already a member of the Patreon. Same thing with the index, the Ultimate IDP index. Updates are being made all the time in there by myself, by Bomber. Some really good notes are getting thrown in there. Production profiles are being put in, new players are being added, etc. Start looking at those contracts, all that good stuff for Dynasty. And then finally, I would just say our rankings for best ball are I've already got my next season's best ball, and I say next season because we have the postseason best ball tournaments that they do. Anyway, I've been putting those together already as well. So, like I said, we're going to be hammering best ball hard. Like I said, we have a podcast already set up for it. We're going to be hammering hard on the channel, but IDP stands for defense today around here. So we're going to be talking defensive rankings, and my man Billy's been sitting in the background just having himself a laugh. Billy, how you doing, brother?
Doing good. Here to vibe out with some rankings. I'm ready to
talk some IDP. Yes, sir. Yes, this is the man behind the Dynasty Tailgate and some of our current success. So shout out to Billy as well. Everybody in the chat, we'll give you all some love. What's up? Before we go into the questions, we're going to actually pull up some of the notes that our man Bomber got ready for us and some that I added as well. And I don't think you added any, did you?
I did not. I'm ready to tee off on that Kingsley Ignabare question, though, as soon as we get to it.
All right, pull it up if you want to while I get these notes up.
Or I could take myself out of the stream. That works too. Okay, let's pull this up because I love this question. So it says thoughts on Kingsley Ignabare cheers Army. Here's the thing. Rashawn Gary got a concussion in the second half of that game. He's not practicing today. You definitely need to pick him up. He only played 30% of the snaps, which was every snap for the rest of the game for them. And he ended up with around 10 points, which is pretty good for only being in there for 30% of the snaps. If Rashawn Gary is to miss this game, he seems to be able to fit in there and produce at the same level that Rashawn Gary did. Not saying they're the same player, but the opportunities are apparently, good enough to where he can produce. So that's a good replacement right there. Definitely would stash him off your waiver wire if he's still available going into this week, with us not knowing how Rashawn Gary is going to be by Sunday.
Hell yeah. There you go. I'm glad you were here to answer that, and I could get this up.
I loved him. Senior Bowl, man, he was the best defensive player I saw.
Yeah, we should keep an eye out for some Senior Bowl information from us as well, y'all. Would be cool to do a meetup with some people if anybody's down there for that or just lives in that area. We're trying to get some things going for that. So keep an eye out, as well as do what we're supposed to go down there and do is scout the future of fantasy football for y'all. So let's go ahead and jump right into the notes. I guess the first thing, which is kind of right here, well, the picture anyways, Patrick Queen has been having a great season. His notes actually not till a little bit lower, but man, LB3 on the season. What are your thoughts on that? Because I did not see that coming for him.
I didn't either, and the Baltimore defense has been very confusing to figure out anyway, because, well, they haven't been very good this season. But for him to be as involved as he's been, I don't think any of us saw it coming. I think before the season we were even saying if you could sell him for whatever you can get, like right now. So for anybody who did buy low, you may have hit the jackpot there.
Yeah, that's kind of where my head was too before the season started. Was just like unload him. He's not. I don't think he's going to have that breakout, but it seems like he's found his stride on the way the team is set up right now. What about these Zach Allen, Bomber put in here, played over 80% of snaps on a consistent basis. He's been on the waiver wire show the last couple of weeks. Zaven Collins had his fourth consecutive week with 100% of snaps. He's been a gem too this year. Another guy that I didn't really think was going to pan out just because Isaiah Simmons didn't, and I thought that might be because of the way they use rookies and younger players. But Zaven Collins it doesn't seem like it's a rookie's problem. It seems like it was an Isaiah Simmons problem.
Yeah, I agree. I think they finally may have figured out how to use Collins and Simmons at the same time on the field appropriately. Now I understand our somewhat low key hatred of Isaiah Simmons, but the plays in the positions he puts himself in are big play dependent, and he may, if he gets the big play, obviously that's what you want. But there's going to be more often than not, I don't think he makes the big play, but he did on last Thursday.
Yes, he did. Fantasy managers were happy about that. Scroll on down a little bit. Some more guys that have been rising in the ranks. Geno Stone has been replacing Marcus Williams. That was somebody we've been talking about a little bit. Bomber says not Kyle Hamilton. And lower down here, we have a little bit about Kyle Hamilton because he did have a sack this last game, but we kind of have that in our Fool's Gold segment because that's not something you can depend on, and the snaps still are not following him. So while that was a good play, and for him, and long term, we still really, really like Kyle Hamilton. That's not an indicator. This last week's points are not an indicator that it's time to start playing Kyle Hamilton. We got Pratt in here. You definitely need to be picking him up and playing him. Michael Walker back to 100%. Any of these other guys here you want to talk about in this riser section before we get to the fallers?
Well, I was just going to say the Michael Walker managers out there, don't worry. I think it was just first game back from injury. He was not quite as involved as you would want him to be, but I don't think that it's something to worry about going forward.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. I mean, we're right back to his having all the snaps. They didn't even mess around, so you got to like that. Yeah. Here's a guy who has not been getting his snaps, and that is off-season superhero, IDP stud, Knight of Summer, Cody Barton. Not looking too good right now, but before we get down to his little blurb, Marcus Davenport is back to disappointing fantasy managers. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Last year he was on a points per snap. He was one of the highest scoring defensive line players and just one of the highest scoring IDP players last year. So I was really excited to see that. Looks like it was more fool's gold. Maybe it's not real. Adafe Owe, he says here, outsnapped and outplayed by Jason Pierre-Paul. Jason Pierre-Paul has been getting a ton of snaps, even though he hasn't really done much with them. I saw Justin Houston made a play this weekend. Other notes here, Malcolm Rodriguez, Anzalone. There's still guys I think you can play every week just because Malcolm Rodriguez snaps are down a little bit, but they've been okay and they've been consistent. Any thoughts on those top guys there?
I think the writing was on the wall for Adafe Owe as soon as they started signing, like they signed Jason Pierre-Paul. I think we all knew his snap share was going to go down as a reason for that. And Malcolm Rodriguez is still a good play. Every team knows they can run on them, so you're going to continue to get those tackles because that's the strategy.
Even with his snaps going down, I mean, on the season he has 43 combined tackles, 4 of those for a loss. I mean, that's pretty dang good on the season still for playing less snaps than some guys. I mean, it's only a handful, like 6 less than Patrick Queen, for instance, who's linebacker 3. So even with the less snaps, sometimes guys can still perform. Quay Walker not getting a lot of snaps, but even he, another guy who's still putting up some decent numbers when he is on the field. Total tackle wise, he's got 52. I mean, that's pretty dang good overall. Sometimes I think we can get a little bit lost in the snaps. And then Cody Barton, his snaps continue to go down, 63%. I think they might have even been lower than that 2 weeks ago.
That was process over result there. We just assumed that he would step in for Bobby Wagner, and it has not worked out.
Doing some live editing here of our notes. All right. Wild cards. I think this is actually the most fun group to talk about. Isaiah Simmons had a pick 6, only played 70. I love how Bomber put only played 75%.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for him, isn't it? So there's a little bit of that's how the media works, y'all. That's how you know. Like I'm telling you, everyone has bias. No one's perfect, and we're okay with that. So there's Bomber, only 75% snaps for him. His reliability is still a bit of a wild card. I love that. Pete Werner usage is not getting to 100%, 85%. That doesn't bother me. He's been so good this year, and his snaps have floated around that area. I think he hit close to 100% one week, But Demario Davis is still like the true play caller alpha. What do you think about Deion Jones's debut?
Well, I think that it's going to mean more now with Phillips being out for some time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I think that going forward, he will be more usable.
The only play I really remember was him getting put in the blender on a sideline.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
It's going to happen. I'm
It's
pretty
Deion
sure.
Jones.
It's Deion Jones, he says. Ooh, shade. Love the shade. All right, Carolina. What else have we got here? Bomber. Waiver wire. Keanu Neal, he has here, as a wild card. I think he's more of a you can lock him in because he was playing for Logan Wilson anyway. So we put that in there. 70% snaps for Jalen Smith. Like I said this on Monday. What day is it? Wednesday. I said on Monday. I was picking him up on a dynasty waiver wire that week. I'm pretty sure I dropped him, but I'm picking him up. Jalen Smith is still a thing. If you getting his snaps up, that's good. Quincy and Quan. I mean, Quincy's still the guy you want. Quan's going to be the second linebacker, more like the third. And then Singleton had 11 tackles, but Jewel is going to come back this week. So, any final thoughts on that group?
Yeah, that's what you're worried about there with Singleton. Is you may have just squeezed all the juice out of that.
That's what people have been saying about Alex Singleton for years. All right. Fool's goal. Like I said, we have Kyle Hamilton here. Did have a sack. Probably scored you some points. May look good on your waiver wires, but still snaps are low, only 35%. And that's with a major part of their team going down who is a safety. You know what I'm saying? Tennessee, Joe Schobert getting less than 20% of snaps. On the team, yes. Veteran, yes. Mike Vrabel is going to do whatever he does. So he signed Joe Schobert, so at least Joe Schobert can feed his family.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana, we got DB eligibility dropped 62% snap share. Yeah, I saw that. I think Bomber tweeted that. Yeah, Bradley Chubb's going to be like this his whole career, guys.
Well, okay. So can I bring up something on this?
No.
Did you see? Oh, I was going to say.
No, yes, you should. I want you to.
Did you see the report that Bradley Chubb is going to be traded if the Broncos lose this game this week?
No.
Yeah. So apparently there's a report out there from NFL Rumors who is pretty accurate. Not going to lie. Like it's not a verified site or anything, but they are pretty accurate when they put up a news report, and they say from inside the building that they're thinking about trading pieces like Jerry Jeudy, and Bradley Chubb was mentioned as well. If the Broncos lose this game in London this weekend, that Bradley Chubb may be on the move. So if he was to end up with, let's just say, the Rams, for example, he may be being able to be put into a better position. So
what do the Rams have to give? They have nothing left to give.
Broncos will take anything. They don't have any picks because they traded them all to Seahawks. Yeah. So they're going to give away these players to try to get something back in return. And it might happen. I'm just saying. Like I would buy low on Bradley Chubb, especially if he has a bad game this week, because he might be on the move before next week's deadline.
There's some alpha. That's why we have you on here. All right, here are the injury notes. Finally, Antoine Winfield concussion, probably not going to play Thursday. Baron Browning hip injury, still not sure, but I think I thought I saw something about that one. Maybe I changed it. Dre Greenlaw thigh injury, severity unknown. Shaq Leonard still not playing. Yeah, Shaq Leonard. I'm sorry, but it's a wrap basically. He's doing the Julio Jones thing now, where I was like he'll like be around probably, but I don't know. Like it's got to be over, right?
This is more Bomber bias being thrown into this. Like he wanted to play last week and they held him out another week. That was a Reich decision, not a Leonard
Bomber
injury
bias
decision.
I love that.
So Leonard could easily be out there to this next week. I actually think he will be. He was healthy enough to play last week. This is just more like this is a player that Bomber does not like, so that's why he's going to slide him in the notes. Just slide him in the notes.
Like this,
with
Bomber!
the dot at
I love
end.
it. See, and I kind of, I don't know. I kind of think that it might be. We might have seen better days for. We might not see better days for what's his face. Honestly, I kind of think in Dynasty it's time to move on if you can. Why didn't that do that right? All right. Well, here's our beautiful website where our rankings are, where we are now. Instead of sharing my rankings, I'm going to share Mace's rankings. Oh, does Mace have his week 8 rankings up yet? Oh, man. He doesn't. Okay.
By the
Well,
way, another thing to add to the Shaq Leonard thing is he has been on Twitter liking all of the tweets with people doubting him and talking shit about him. So
yeah, but that's like what he does, though.
I know. I'm just saying. The receipts are being kept, my friends.
Well, they always should be. And speaking of which, if you're watching the live stream, welcome in. At the end of this, we're going to go to the Fantasy Receipts Twitter account, and we're going to do a segment where we just talk about some fantasy receipts.
Wow.
So,
I can't wait to find out you're the fantasy receipts person.
I wish.
I cannot wait to find that out.
I wish. I mean, I'm sure people have tried to pin it on me. I'm sure it's gone. I'm sure there are group DMs where I've been pinned early.
Now
they know it's not.
I guarantee that you were the first suspect on a lot of people's lists.
Isn't that funny? And it's like, you know that, and so many people probably know that. They won't say it. And it's crazy too, because it's like, I would never do something like, I'm not that smart. I wish I was, and if I was, I'd be so
you would just do it from your main account.
Exactly. And it wouldn't give me love.
You wouldn't create any account for you'd be like, I don't want to give pub to some random account.
Exactly. And then I just get blocked and muted by everybody that's still blocked and muted me.
The rest of them.
Oh, okay. All right. Here's our DL rankings for the first. And these are my rankings. These aren't Mace's. Mace is our number one ranker. He's our top guy right now. So come back to the sites, check out Mace's later.
This is humble of you, by the way.
Huh?
This is humble of you, by the way.
I mean, I am what I am. If you say humble, I'll take it.
Okay. Well, now we're back out of it. So
there we go. Nick Bosa is our top guy. Obviously, he's just having a great season. He's gonna be this kind of player for a while. Max Crosby, right behind him, leads the league in tackles for loss. Still, I think he's led the league for tackles for loss for like 3 weeks now. And it was funny because 1 week he hadn't played yet that week. And they said, oh, Max Crosby leads the league in tackles for loss. So I'm like, yeah, and he's about to play tonight and get like 3 more, which was crazy. So he's obviously, he's 11 right now. Zadarius Smith is up there. He's been climbing the ranks. But of these top guys, I will say I've put Brian Burns up a little bit from what I had been. Not that I had been fudding him or anything, but I think he is kind of trying to prove a point this year. Does it feel like that to you?
Yeah, I could see that. So I'm surprised you don't have Parsons higher, by the way.
Well, I mean, Justin Fields is a slippery fish.
Well, he also loves getting sacked.
Yeah, so it's slippery fish. Maybe I'll move him up though. I mean, I
don't want to influence your rankings. I'm not.
You should. I will take advice and the counsel.
I'm just saying, Mace would probably have him number 4. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, I should actually hit up Mace. Mace, do you do consults? How much to book a one-on-one, my guy? Mace is our what's his niche? He's the what is it again? The snap something. I forget what his micro niche is. Danielle Hunter Myles Garrett. I have him lower than probably a lot of people, but Joe Burrow has not been getting sacked as much as he looked like he would have started the season. And Myles Garrett, he seems like he's getting injured every week or getting pulled out of games. He goes back in. He has like enough points, but I don't know if he's ever going to have like a really like this season, at least if he's going to pull off like any real ceiling games for Myles Garrett. Does that seem fair?
Yeah. The Cleveland defense here. I know this is your thing, and I'm sorry. The Cleveland defense wasn't good last year. I don't know why everybody is like shocked that they are part of the reason that the Browns are losing. They were not very good. It's the same
defense too. It's like almost the exact same defense.
Yes, the secondary is still bad. Myles Garrett is still being either being taken out of the game or he does get a few sacks, but it's still not enough to actually.
They're not impactful, and that's always been the thing with Myles Garrett. When people are like, "Oh, Myles Garrett," and I'm like, "TJ Watt matters so much more." I'm like, TJ Watt what TJ Watt does in games is like walk off home runs with the bases loaded.
Well, you're not.
What Myles Garrett does in games is like being 18 and like going to play wiffle ball with like 10-year-olds.
We're never gonna have a Myles Garrett strip sack to win the game. Like that'll never be. I don't think it's ever happened in his career. It definitely has not happened this year. But it's never something that's actually meaningful. He's a sack cleanup guy.
Exactly.
He's just fast.
He does a lot. He does a lot right, but I don't think he's a true game. I mean, my shade is
I
well
know what
cast.
you're saying. There's a lot of people shocked at the Browns defense being bad, and I don't really know why you were shocked. Like those people
Yeah,
are
and
shocked.
and adding Deion Jones is not going to fix anything.
No, God,
Just
no.
in case anybody was
There's a
thinking
problem
it.
if he's not starting in Atlanta, and Atlanta needs help on defense.
Yeah,
should tell you something. It's tell you something.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and scroll on down a little bit more.
Okay, one more time. You had Rashard Gary up there. Like if he is out for the concussion thing, how high would you put Kingsley Ignabare?
I wouldn't put him as
probably
high.
Like 25.
I would honestly
26,
probably I would
something?
put him right outside of my top 24.
Okay.
Because I would say I would be willing to play him, but I'm not confident as a 1 or a 2. That's kind of what it is.
I get it.
And I feel like some guys have been coming down. I'm down on Trey Hendrickson finally. And he got injured too,
Walker's
neck injury.
falling off too. That Jags defense is woof.
Yeah. Quentin Williams is looking good. Von Miller, even though he's only playing like 50% of snaps, like you can rely on him to do something in those 50% of snaps.
Yeah. Quentin Williams has been a top 5 guy this year. So
he's
impressive.
All right, let's take a look at the linebackers for the week real quick. And again, we appreciate everybody's here watching. Like, subscribe, join the Patreon. You're supporting the continued growth. I think we have 4 or 5 podcasts now. And that's because we literally are running out of like room for our shows. Like, it's crazy. Roquan Smith again is just he's a man among boys every week. Pete Warner, I have him a little high probably, but I think Vegas is gonna try to run. You know what I mean? So maybe again, I put him very high 2 weeks ago. I think I had it like number 1, and even without 100% of snaps, sometimes guys deserve that. Foyesade Olakun, if you got him in Dynasty over the last couple of years, you've been just living the dream with that guy.
Yep.
Campbell, big numbers. Any thoughts on these top guys here?
No, but are you kind of surprised that this is what it looks like? Like I would never.
I mean, okay, so like Pete Werner, yes.
Roquan, Brooks, and probably Devin White are 3 that you would assume would be top 5.
I would have thought, and honestly, CJ Mosley, I thought he probably finished top 15-ish. Campbell, enough. Same. Devin, these 2 guys I would not thought be here, at my rankings this time of year, but that's where we are. Micah Parsons, linebacker, so I have him a little bit lower. I should probably maybe bring him up. Miles Jack has been another guy I would have never thought I'd be ranking in top 12. You know what I mean?
Very strange. Well, yeah. That's based on the situation.
Yeah, but I mean, even so, like Devin Bush, it's pretty rare for him to get up there too. Yeah, Levante David has not been doing as much as I wanted. I'm probably going to bring TJ Edwards up just a little bit more before the week gets going. I have him at 16 there. And then the rest of these guys through 24, I do have Fred Warner outside my top 24. That might be a little bit rude, but I would play all of these other players ahead of Fred Warner.
If Shaq Leonard plays this weekend, where are you ranking him?
Probably right around where I have Levante David here, 17, 18. Because I can't trust him.
I'm just asking because some people probably are going to get him off of their not waiver wire, but their injury thing.
You got to play him. I mean,
you have
just have one linebacker spot. If you have one linebacker spot, you don't put a landmine in it. I wouldn't do that.
That's true.
So, all right, let's take a look at the DBs, and then we'll go look at fantasy receipts.
Can I say one more, like about the linebackers?
Yeah.
So, would it not be Ogrecki or would it not be Zaire Franklin? Which spot would Shaq Leonard be taking?
I assume he's going to be taking Franklin's, but that's because Ogrecki was always the opposite starter, but Franklin's been so good this year, but I don't know. I don't understand. I've stopped trying to understand what coaches are going to do. Okay. You know what I mean?
I'm just asking. I'm wondering.
I don't know. So I can honestly say I have no idea. What do you think?
Speculate. I like that answer. I don't know. I'm assuming Franklin because
were you trying to
came in for him?
Were you trying to get me?
No, I don't know. That's why I was. If you knew
journalism,
I was gonna be like, oh, okay, because
you're like, aha, Zaire Franklin isn't a real person.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter this blue check mark said
he was cut 5 minutes ago. Do you even do your own research? Do you even research these things?
Zion Franklin wasn't even a real person this whole time. All
right. So here are our top DBs. Obviously, Minkah Fitzpatrick is number one because he's a god. No, not really. But, I mean, he is playing Philly. Their defense is not great this year. Their offense is not great this year. So he's been getting a lot of work. And he's a playmaker. So he is the kind of guy who's going to try to make some stuff happen. So it's going to be interesting to see him. And, like, I like when guys, like, with, like, that mentality. I said something about this the other day about Jalen Hurts. Like, he's got a, like, there's something about him that's off. Like, he just, when he gets in that mode. And Minkah Fitzpatrick's kind of like that too. He's one of those guys that talk a lot, but like when he gets like locked in, it's like it's different. So I'm interested to see them kind of face off this week on like a subplot for the week for anybody that wants a little one-on-one matchup. They're both Alabama guys too, so for whatever that's worth. Then you got Talanoa, who was waiver wire gold this year. He's very high. I have Antoine Winfield, but he'll be coming out because it looks like he's not going to be clearing concussion protocol. Jaquan Brisker, I have him at 5 right now. I'll be bringing him up. Buda Baker.
Brisker, man.
Yeah,
that
Brisker's been insane this year.
Oh.
Like I said, everybody that was in on, Jamal
Hamilton.
Adams and Derwin James, like those safeties are old. Like it's like that looking away meme. Now it's Talanoa and it's Brisker. That's it.
I don't know how. I wonder what would have happened if Kyle Hamilton ended up in a place that actually needed him to do something.
Well, that's the thing. They do need him to do something in Baltimore.
I don't think he's playing in the right position.
What do you mean? What are they playing him?
I don't know. I'm semi-strong safety, but I don't know.
Is he more of a free safety?
I think so.
I mean, they need free safety help, but you're right. But they didn't put him in when Williams went down. So Chuck Clark is their strong safety.
It's curious. That's all. It's just curious.
It is curious. But here's the thing. It's like coaching. Harbaugh isn't like like kind of known to be weird with all of his rookies. I mean, I think about every rookie wide receiver they've had. He's been weird about it. Every rookie ever they've had, he's always weird about it.
That is a good point. I don't know.
Think about it. Duvernay, he's still being weird with that guy, and he's probably their best receiver. Bateman, he was weird with him. He was weird with Hollywood his first year.
Well,
he was weird with Mark Andrews. Didn't he barely play Mark Andrews his rookie year?
Oh, well, yeah, because they drafted Hurst first.
Yeah,
so
and exactly. Obviously, and, he didn't play Hurst that much either, I don't think. I mean, it's just everything Harbaugh does is weird. Patrick Queen, he only played like 80% of his snaps his rookie year. Alway, this last year, he only played like 50% of snaps as an edge rusher. He's weird until he trusts a guy. He's always weird with him. And like that's the thing. He spends a first-round pick on Hamilton, and like you said, he's being weird with him. So like you said, I wonder if it's Hamilton, but I wonder if it's the coaching, and that's just one of those things where it's like that's the only variable I really don't have any way to acknowledge except for the history of how other things.
It's got to scare the people that have been hanging on to David Ojabo, hoping when he comes back.
J.K. Dobbins. J.K.
Yeah,
Dobbins. They were weird with him. They're always weird with these guys. So
it's weird.
There was that other guy too. It wasn't Perryman. It wasn't Mike Wallace, but they had another receiver. He was at the Senior Bowl. Gosh, I can't remember him. He was like the N'Keal Harry that wasn't N'Keal Harry in Dynasty that year. What was that guy's name? Miles Boykin. He was weird as shit with Miles Boykin too. Even though whenever he was on the team, he was probably their best receiver. Every time he was on the field, he caught a deep ball. Anyway, I'm going on. Harbaugh, I don't know. That's why I kind of stay away from.
Like this is something I need to stash away. Like I write these notes for like things I'm learning this year that I need to remember for next year. Rookies on Baltimore. I need to write that down as like don't trust anything.
As long as it's Harbaugh, again, I imagine it's a Harbaugh thing. Even Lamar, look at Lamar. Like if Lamar was so friggin' good, he's like why the fuck did it take so long for him to get out there? Again, what is this? What is the Baltimore weird quotient? Like how do we put that into our spreadsheet?
I don't know.
Model builders get at us.
I'm just happy that Chicago's actually back to Brisker. I'm glad Chicago's finally using Justin Fields as Lamar Jackson because it worked against the Patriots. And if they can continue to do that, then
Justin Fields to me is if he can hit his ceiling, I think his ceiling is higher than people like Kyler's ceiling at this point. If he looks like he looks like a more natural runner.
Yeah. Well,
Just
that's because Kyler's a scrambler. Like he's
exactly.
not.
Kyler
He's not
looks
design
like
run.
he looks more like I would say if you were on a farmyard. Like Kyler runs like a chicken, and then Fields runs more like a pig. Have you seen that pig TikTok where the pig just
yeah.
like he just knows the route. He knows where to get his leverage
Well,
points.
that's the difference between a designed run and your play caller is trash.
Play caller trash. Here we go. Blame everything on Cliff Kingsbury. All right, you and I shouldn't do shows together because it always
he
ends
had
up here.
Mahomes and he sucked at Texas Tech. I'll never forget it.
All right, we'll finish out our defensive backs for the week. Jaron Kearse coming way up the rankings recently. Chuck Clark, about the only player on Baltimore you can trust. He's solid, and it took a while for him to get trust there too. Eric Rowe is up quite a bit. We did lose Brandon Jones to the injury. He's on IR officially. Sauce Gardner is up. He has a ton of pass deflections this year. Only one interception, though, so I think he has some positive regression coming his way. Trevon Diggs, great season again. Pretty good season still. Cowboys, I'm interested to see what happens with them this week. I feel like last week was
DB5 like people were saying before the season. Just saying,
like people. What you talking to me?
Did you have him as DB5?
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Javon Holland, Grant Delpit, Marlon Humphrey, and then Keanu Neal rounds out 25. Keanu Neal will probably get a pretty significant bump in the rankings later today/tomorrow. Now let's give you what you're really here for, the fantasy receipts. The receipts don't lie. The fantasy receipts.
Mac Jones is back.
On the bench where he belongs.
He's back starting this week because the Patriots don't know what the hell to do.
That doesn't make any sense. They're so, quit. All right, first and foremost, this account, 13, almost 14K followers, and they just started it earlier this month.
Follow you. That should tell suspicious. So they follow you. That's suspicious.
I mean, I'll show you our DMs if you want. Let's see what kind of goodness they've been serving us up today. What do they got today?
It's weird that you DM yourself.
Well, the paper trail's got to look real. Oh, you're also going to see accounts that I have muted, so this may or may not be incriminating.
Oh, wow. Right, you should have done this for mine.
Yeah, similar 15. Oh, well, I've had him muted for years. Y'all can have ETN. This is from John Helmkamp, April 27th. I'm not interested. It was low on him coming out, and now straight line runner coming off foot injury in a backfield with James Robinson on a horrible offense, somehow going to have a massive breakout worth a first pass. So apparently a lot of people submitted that one.
I don't even know. I don't disagree with that.
I think it was a fair take, but I mean,
it was.
The fact that it ends up being wrong is why it gets attacked.
I know. It's just like, I don't know. That seems.
I was anti-ETN too. I still am. I don't care if he scored 30 points this week.
I'm super nervous for him potentially getting injured again. Like they have nothing behind him. Nothing. So
again,
I don't know
expect
what they're
everyone
doing.
To have no judgment on my viewed or my muted or blocked accounts because this is the shit. Okay, we're out here. Okay,
let's find out you have me muted probably.
This one's deleted, so I can't see that. David Portney, well, we were just talking about Mac Jones. Here's one that receipts did. Portney's going to throw 3 TDs tonight. I bet he lost a lot of money. Oh, my gosh. How many times do I have to hit back? Oh, Nick Rudman. This one should be fun. He's a Mac Jones guy. Mac Jones is a legit franchise quarterback. Agree or disagree?
God, no.
God,
I've been saying his ceiling is QB 15 since last season.
Exactly.
Like he's never going to be higher than that.
All right. What else do the receipts have for us today? Self-submitted. Travis Etienne is the next mistake Twitter is ready to make together. True. I would have agreed with that statement. All right. Who is this? Oh, Tyler Gunther says, everyone's acting like ETN to the moon. Must not have seen Breece Hall is on the jet ski in the last few weeks. James Robinson will probably outscore ETN the rest of the year.
Ooh.
That's only 2 days old. Okay, so how do we feel
That's
about
an
that?
early take. I
That is
mean, I do think Etienne might outscore James Robinson, but it would just shock me if James Robinson outscored Etienne. Not at all, because Etienne could be hurt next week.
exactly,
Fragile.
and we've seen James Robinson actually hold a workload through a season that was substantial. It'll, like you said, it'll be interesting. And at this point, which is the better offense to be in? Probably the
Running
Jets.
backs, the Jets.
Yeah. So I mean, we're moving away from a talent only discussion now that we're actually out here. So I don't know if
The
one.
Jets want to run more, and the Jaguars want to pass more. So I don't know if that's fantasy receipts or not. I don't know. It's early. Well, they
This is a
actually,
fun one.
this account made a mistake. Did you see the one where they had to like do their own take because they taped somebody and then
No.
were proven wrong themselves?
Well, maybe we'll scroll down to it. We won't do this too long, but we might get to it. I like this one. True or false? Matt Ryan over Kirk Cousins. What an ignorant thing to ever. Like, who's in charge of their social media? Like, this is so. Yeah, this is a laughable receipt. One of these
Unless
guys
that was a joke.
Well, it wasn't. You remember this summer? It's so easy to wreck.
Well, but it's August 30th, so it might have been. Well, it wouldn't have been after a game because
it wasn't.
Games hadn't started yet.
And again, people talk like Kirk Cousins is no good, and people talk like Matt Ryan is so amazing for way too long.
Who said this take? It's FanDuel. What do better?
Oof. Samaje P. Ryan and Damian Pierce, same thing.
A lot of people thought that, and they did not know. Damian Pierce was walking into a situation where he could succeed. That 2017 Samaje P. Ryan on the Washington Commanders team was never going to work. That team was awful.
Yeah. Well, there hasn't been a running back work on the Washington Commanders team since I've been watching football.
Nope. And, that's...
R.I.P. Matt Kelly. Fat Rob.
Yep. There's everybody.
R.I.P. everybody
on that team.
This one's been deleted. I love when they're deleted.
Josh Kelly. Yeah, that was another one.
Self-submitted. Oh, this one's fun. Lobos Fantasy Den. There's a chance that A.J. Dillon leads the league in rushing touchdowns. A very, very small one at one point, maybe.
Woof.
All right, we'll do two more. Listen up. If you're still... Oh, this one's just people talking. Give him a follow. Oh, gosh, this one's fun. Eric Moody. Nobody wants to admit it, but Russell Wilson is going to finish as a fantasy football QB1 in 2022. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. I think you should have let people tell you otherwise. All right, one more. Submitted sleepers. Matt Ryan, Chase Edmonds, KJ Osborne, Albert O. That is a tough set of sleepers. They're all still sleeping.
Yep, all still sleeping. Albert O. That was a time.
Dude, I mean, that was a time. It was a long ass.
Well, we have a trade. Dude. We have a trade. Breaking news. Robert
Where?
Quinn has been traded to the Eagles.
For real?
That just happened, according to Adam Schefter.
For real? Live on air. Let's see it. Come on, be the top one. Nope. My algorithm's all fucked up, guys.
It definitely is.
You say Schefter?
Yeah, Schefter just tweeted it a minute ago.
Oh, I'm a minute late. It's probably already, I'm surprised it's not been retweeted 1,000 times. How do you spell Schefter?
Schefter.
Found him. There it is. Really happened. No practice for Debo today. Looks like we got a nice little dump here of some media.
It's Wednesday. Blah.
Yeah, true.
But
Robert Quinn traded the Eagles. This is an interesting trade, and this is actually IDP relevant. So let's just go ahead and let's break into it. Initial reactions. This is good for the Eagles. This is good for Robert Quinn. This is good for Hassan Reddick. This is good for Travis Gibson, who is the kind of the backup pass rusher on the Chicago Bears. I'm more
interested from the Bears' perspective here because Robert Quinn. I mean, they have Reddick and was it Brandon Graham? Is he
they and Josh Sweat, but didn't Josh Sweat just go on IR?
Sweat? Maybe that's what this is for. But interesting.
Either way, this is huge because Robert Quinn, and that's a great pass rushing duo. Robert Quinn and Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, Eagles, they're going for it all this year.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, that's the kind of move you make to win a championship.
It's true. Big win for them. All right. Do we want to get to these?
I love this little war that always happens.
The Schefter versus Rappaport.
About who tweeted, like whose intern had it, ready to go, drafted fastest, whose internet happened to be connected, all that fun stuff. It's always funny. All right, well, IDP Army, we had some breaking news. We looked at some fantasy receipts.
Do you want to talk to any of the comments or no?
Yeah, I guess we should. We're kind of late on the comments, so honestly,
you don't like talking to the people. I get it.
No, I do. I love it. I talk to them every week. It's just we're already 45 minutes in. I'm trying to be, I don't know.
We'll make it quick. There's only like 6.
All right, well, we'll pull them up then.
Okay.
All right, yeah. Actually, we will go through the comments. Screw it. You gonna talk like that? Let's do it.
Say it.
Tarzan X, what's up? What's up? We got 2 wide receivers, flex. We'll do start sit questions on Sunday, guys. More info, more good shit coming from the IDP Army. Can you throw a Patreon link in the comments? Let's keep it growing. Yeah, you said that last time I tried to. It didn't work. They're down in the description though. Hey man, are you really undefeated in the BDGE Bowl? If so, who is on that squad and who is your best waiver wire pickup? Inquiring minds would like to know. Should I go break that down real quick? Can you hang for a minute? What's your schedule?
Yeah, I'm off today, and all I've got is a podcast tonight. That's it.
Podcasters, off during the day, wide awake at night.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I'll show you all my BDG team. It's not a bad team. I just picked up Sam Ellinger this morning for $16. He went for $60 in the other league I'm in. Jesus. And actually, the guy who's right above me in the standings, His name's like NE95. Mm-hmm. He is in the overall standings. I'm in that league with him. All right, let's go. Bash 31 league. This is the undefeated league. This is the last thing somebody said to me. Fuck you, Jordan. Everybody hates me. Here's Sam Ellinger for, I know why she hated me too. I'll show you. Where's he at? There he is. We both bid $17 and I got him.
Oh, because you had a higher waiver priority?
I guess so, even though my team's amazing. All right, so here's the team on the undefeated Bash team. Obviously, PJ Walker's leading the squad because why wouldn't he be?
Of course he is.
Oh, why isn't this pulling up? I'm sorry. I thought this was all being pulled up, guys.
Eagles are sending a 4th-round pick to Chicago, by the way.
Oh, my gosh. Why is it showing the wrong thing? I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm an idiot.
Well, we thought we were going to get through these comments quick.
Yeah, exactly. It's a black hole when you start doing this. All right, here we go. Here's the team. So, Sam Ellinger, I picked him up today. PJ Walker. Josh Jacobs has been clutch. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is on bye, but he was clutch for me a couple of weeks ago. Tyreek Hill has been a greght pick. Got him in the back of the second. T. Higgins was awesome early. Ever since his ankle's been rolled, he's been like, I have to play him, but it's not anywhere near what it was. Lamb, jury's still out. Juju's been nice. But these are my main guys. I mean, I'll go ahead and put him in. Josh Allen. Obviously, I haven't been starting PJ Walker every week. But I did start Mitchell Trubisky and Baker pretty much every single week to start the season, which was unpleasant. But I still managed to do it. Jarvis Landry's been on the team since the draft. Jerick McKinnon's been on the team since the draft. I got my backups. I had Zaire White just because I want to have the backups to my main running backs. And, yeah, I mean, that's the team. Devin Singletary also is on the team. So that's a 7-0 team in the Bash. Top 5 team in the whole world. I can't wait to have equity in that company. IDP Army, when Papa's in the building, you already know. All right, like, comment, share, fam. Let's blow it up. Always appreciate that attitude. Who are you starting? Like I said, we'll do start sit questions on Sunday. We'll be back at 10 a.m. Central Time. All right. Thibodeau or Walker at DL going forward? Give me Thibodeau.
Thibodeau.
Yeah, Thibodeau. Is Demetrius Flanagan Fowles going to be worth a grab if Dre Greenlaw is out? I mean, I don't know if he's the direct backup, then yeah, but I don't know if I'll play him. And honestly, I don't want to be picking guys up. I want to have somebody or two guys on my bench, ideally, that I've been watching the waiver wires all season, where I don't have to go get Demetrius Flanagan Fowles. But if you do, you do. Where is Poyer in your rankings? It's a good question. Go to idparmy.com and you'll be able to see. What's up, fellas? Curl and Neil this week. I'll go Neil, but I'm not answering any more start-sit questions, but I will for Tyreek because he's an OG. I'll spoil him. Would you drop Anzalone or Quincy Williams for JOK? No.
I would not.
I would keep both those guys over JOK right now.
Unfortunately. Hoping more.
Picked up Ryan Neal with a broken Winfield. Feeling good about Neal for a few more weeks. Yeah, why not? He's been good so far as a backup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at work watching. This is about to get you fired. Well, hopefully it was worth it.
IDP Army, baby.
St. Louis fan in the house. Should I trade James Robinson, Claypool, Hubbard, 108, 208 for ETN 101 and 301 in Dynasty?
I actually would do that. You're guaranteed Bijan Robinson? Yes.
And you have ETN and you still have the 301, and that still could be fluid too. So, and that's some good liquidity. I would do that too.
I would do it.
Yo, I traded Dalvin Cook, Drake London, and Hafanga for Najee, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Derwin Drowns. What do y'all think? I think you have some injured guys on your team right now. That could be tough down the stretch. But in Dynasty, if this is Dynasty, I like having Amon-Ra.
I still don't know. Because we don't know what Atlanta is going to be like with a new quarterback. That's the wild card.
Fair. Traded Dameon Pierce for Joe Mixon, and I am regretting it. Yeah, well, Joe Mixon sucks, and he has sucked for a while.
Damn.
He's just a new Le'Veon Bell, which is funny because he was always talking shit about Le'Veon Bell early in his career. Anyway, what should I do with Kyle Hamilton in Dynasty? Hold.
I'm rebuilding currently P-Trade and Brisker. Well, I mean, if you can trade him for something, because I would rather have P-Trade and Brisker for a career.
Well, I wouldn't trade him now, though. Just hold until he's actually worth something. Then trade
him. If somebody's willing to pay something, then take it. But if they're not, don't go looking for something.
Fair. I traded A.J. Brown and Burns for Adams and Queen.
W.
I like that, yeah. Quincy Williams or David Long rest of the season and Dynasty. Give me, I don't know, Quincy Williams. They seem to be coming around on him as like a viable.
Quincy.
Huh?
I'm going Quincy. They finally realized the talent on the team.
I think so too.
I always love when coaches and front offices like finally understand the talent on their own team. It's just it's an awesome feeling as somebody who watches the teams play.
TJ Watt doesn't come back from IR 21 days to activate him. I just want him to come back fully healthy. That's all. And I want there to be still some hope, which our division is a little choppy right now. I mean, there still is hope. So
it's winnable.
If Pickett, if they move, if we move Claypool, if the Eagle, if they move Claypool, TJ Watt comes back, we could, win a couple of games here. We'll see what happens.
How are you feeling about a quarterback?
What do you mean? About Pickett?
Yeah.
I think he can rise to the occasion. I just think that he's got to get coached up to it, and they have to kind of just be like, look, like no one's gonna make these throws but you. Like, and sometimes I think that's something quarterbacks forget is like they always, and you see it with the guys who come in, their backups, and they always go to the safe throw, the completion. It's like we don't pay you to make. I mean, like we do pay you to make completions, but we're not paying you to go throw there. We're paying you to get down there, and you see that in the guys that make money throws. Guys that take those shots.
Problem.
Exactly. And like Tom Brady, it's like even he's always like guys like that, their mentality, they're always going to throw deep. You know what I mean? Because they know, they understand like that's ultimately that's like the goal. It's not just, and it's funny too, because you see it at the end of games, the guys who are urgent and they're like, they have 3 shots to go 40 yards. They're not thinking, well, I have this whole set of downs. Like it's a whole different mentality. So I think Pickett does have that. I just think that Tomlin has to kind of really let him know, like, if this is going to be your team and we're going to give you all the tools to succeed, you have to start acting like you are trying to succeed, like at scale. Like this is the Pittsburgh Steelers. We don't want to eke out wins. So that means you got to fucking go out there and fucking let it rip. And Big Ben did that all the time. And he threw me, it's kind of like why I thought Winston would be such a good pick for our team. Sidebar, totally. But he embodies that. Winston will throw it deep. He don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And that ultimately, guys like that with good coaching can win games.
Okay.
What the fuck is linebacker Leonard Floyd, LA, all about? He's just sitting on waivers. Should I pick him up to cover D. Cole, Tennessee? Yeah, you could pick him up. He hasn't really made much noise this year. He has had some high sack totals in the past, though. I don't trust anybody on the Rams, though. Rams are weird right now. All right, let's try to speed through the rest of these questions. 53-man roster, David Long, Marco, Wilson, and Fuller, Washington are available. I need 2 off of waivers. I mean, in leagues that deep, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. I'm sorry. Washington and Long, I guess?
Probably.
Or Fuller and Long?
Fuller and Long.
What's up, gents? Jess Okuda or Sauce Gardner? Ooh, that's tough. I'd probably go Okuda, though, still. He's got some crazy high tackle numbers.
That's probably the right call.
Yo, I just got this alert. So bummed. I'm at work. Dedicated IDP Army. Yeah, I'm trying to be. Like you said, if you missed the beginning of the show, go back and watch it. Gave some announcements. We got some crazy, cool new stuff going on. We're scaling up. We're adding new things, new people. IDP Army is expanding. IDP is expanding. Mixon killing me. Yeah, Mixon's trash. Any rookies to stash to get snaps in 2023? I don't know. Keep an eye out. We're going to start. Dynasty content is going to start rolling out in like the next 2 weeks on the channel, offensively and defensively. So keep an eye out for that. Like I said, if you're in the Dynasty Index, rankings have been updated pretty regularly the last couple of weeks. So get in there and look around. Pickens, Curtis Samuel at wide receiver, choose one. We'll do start sits on Sunday. But it's Lou 32, so I'll give you a quick answer. Go Pickens. Infinite possibilities. More breaking news. Zeke has a sprained MCL. Do I play Swift, Harris, or Antonio Gibson? I need to. I probably just play Antonio Gibson just to be a rebel at this point. Like, he looks so good.
Swift and Gibson.
Swift and Gibson. But the thing is with Swift is like this is what he does every year. Is like he just gets hurt.
Well, you need 2. It says need 2.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go. That's easy. I wouldn't play Damian Harris ever.
Nope.
What do you think Ellinger's stats will be? Whatever PJ Walker's were, it'll be like that. Probably like 14 points.
Ellinger.
I honestly have no idea. Can you give us an assessment on Ellinger real quick?
He played at Texas, and I hate him.
Okay. Marco S. Would you drop Pay or Derek Brown for Draymond Jones, Dorrance Armstrong, Raheem Green? I would consider probably dropping Pay, for Draymond Jones or Armstrong. They're both having really strong years at DT. Pay, he's somebody that'll be around for a while, but he's always kind of underperformed, in my opinion.
Agreed.
So having because he's going to be around for a while, but underperformed. All right, IDP Army.
Into the questions.
That is your Week 8 IDP rankings. Like I said, this is the IDP Army Show podcast. Keep an eye out for more social media information coming out about how to get access to the other pod stream feed. Like I said, if you missed the beginning of the show, we've had over 45,000 downloads of our podcast alone. That's not even YouTube. That's just the podcast. Since the season started, we have 3 podcasts on there right now. Currently, we are adding a 4th, so we are going to add a second podcast feed. So keep an eye out for that. If you've been subscribed to it before, we did have some other stuff we've started on it, but we're going to be rebooting it up. Keep an eye out for that. IDParmy.com. Check out the rankings. Any final words, Billy?
I'm not. This was a fun time being here. I'm glad I got to make it.
All right. We appreciate you. We love you, IDP Army. And we'll see you Sunday morning for the live stream. And don't forget, IDP, and the P is for positivity. You already know what it is.